This is my first Bollywood debut, but of course I'm also nervous. I mean, it's not a secret that, it's been a rough year, right? It's been a rough year for Bollywood at the box office. This film is a film that's making me feel like I want to go to the theatre and watch it. Hi, this is Natasha. Watch my interview on Mirchi Plus.
With me today I have very stunning and a young producer who's produced a film called Uunchai with Suraj Barjatia. So Natasha, welcome on Mirchi Plus. This is Samina here for you, and I saw the trailer. It's very good. It has some different connection altogether. Why did you feel while working on this one?
So, this is a very, very special film to me because, working with Suraj ji is such a unique experience. I feel very lucky that the Bollywood feature that I'm producing happens to be one with Suraj ji, Rajshi Productions, starring stars like Amit ji, Baman ji and Anupam ji, because, these people are absolute masters of their craft, but they're also so keen and so hungry to keep reinventing themselves. So just being on set with this sort of talent, watching this movie get made has been an amazing experience, because I've learned that, there is no such thing as being on top of your craft. You can always push yourself, you can always get better. So I've really, really admired this journey that we've all been on together.
The film is quite different. It's not what Suraj Barjatia has produced in the past. When you were working on this, what vibe did you have? Because I would say we are not used to these kind of films produced by Suraj Barjatia or directed by him. We have always been seeing him producing family oriented film. Do you somewhere feel maybe the youth, the generation of today needs such kind of projects?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, this is one of the big reasons that I wanted to support Uunchai as a producer. So my production company, Boundless Media, we say we're telling stories for a new India. So, when I heard this story, this script, that's instantly what came to me, that this is not a story for an older generation. Yes, we have a veteran cast, we have a veteran director, but this is very much a story for all audiences, for all generations. One, we need feel-good films. We need films that have family values. But like I'm saying, this is a film that is a story of reinvention. It's a story of friendship. It's a story of coming of age at every age. And just the same way that, the director and this cast in this film have been pushing themselves to the limit. Like you've said, they are experimenting, they're doing something new. This is a very unique film, the sort you won't have seen before.
True.
I feel like this is exactly the message for the younger generation. That, you don't stop learning, you don't stop growing at every age. Obviously, life gets more complicated. And, it's easy to make a road trip film for people in their 20s, right? We can go to Goa, we can go to Spain.
True.
But when life gets in the way, when you have a family, you have a business, you have health issues, to then make the time to put your friends first, to find your voice, that's what's powerful, right? So I actually think this story will connect, with the young generation.
Do you somewhere also feel that the young generation somewhere right now, and because I belong to the league, I somewhere feel we need a lot of space as compared to the generation above us, for that matter. They always are, they always want to have this family connection, but we somewhere want to space out. We need our space. If you're going through stress, we want to deal it on our own way. We don't like follow the path of how our forefathers must have done. They might be like, chalo theek hai, issue hua hai, family ka hai concerns, it's okay. They also like try to sublime in a lot of ways, but the younger generation doesn't want that baggage of I'm holding on to someone, for that matter. Give us that space. So do you somewhere feel that the generation right now would connect to a film like this, which talks about trips and which talks about friendship? Because right now at this in 2022, friendship is there. It's not like it's not there, but it's very easy to lose friends.
No, so I think this is the funny thing, right? I think that the younger generation will really connect to films where you are putting other people first. So while this is a story of going on a road trip or friendship, it's also a story of sacrifice, right? Because all these friends are putting the memory of someone ahead of their own motivations, their own issues, and they are going on this trip for someone else. And I feel like our generation, unfortunately, we've got so selfish, we've got so self-centered that we've forgotten how to live for other people. So I actually think our generation will connect to that feeling that life is a lot bigger, and will get a lot more when you support others.
And do you somewhere feel that our generation gets judged the most, maybe because people think that it's, we are being selfish, but sometimes we feel like maybe that is how you should be dealing with certain crises.
Yeah. But that's the amazing flip side to this film, is that an older generation has kept making sacrifices. They have
and they expect that out of the younger generation too.
They have kept putting other people first, but actually this film says that that's also not always right. So life is all about finding that balance between putting other people first, but then making time for yourself. So it's not like we've got it right, it's not like the older generation has got it right, and the whole question is, how do you make the room, because you can have a career, you can have family, but you also have to make time for yourself.
That's true.
So it's literally a story of balance.
Also, Natasha, it's your first debut movie, I would say. You have done OTT series and this is your debut film.
Yeah.
Does that make you a bit nervous because, people are going to see your project in a very different way altogether?
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll actually, guess what exactly, she's coming up with.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I'm like I said, I'm thrilled, I'm excited, that this is my first Bollywood debut, but of course I'm also nervous. I mean, it's not a secret that, it's been a rough year, right? It's been a rough year for Bollywood at the box office.
True.
But no, I have a lot of confidence, a lot of conviction, like I'm saying, not just in this cast, not just in this director, but in this story. I think this is a story that will make you laugh, it will make you cry, it will make you connect with your family, it will make you connect with your friends. So, and this is the great thing, that people who are watching the trailer, who are watching our songs, they're telling me that, after a while, this film is a film that's making me feel like I want to go to the theatre and watch it, which I think is so special, right? Because that's the whole question. What sort of films can we take our friends and family to the theatre for versus just sitting at home and watching it? Because I think there's a different magic to seeing something on a big screen with your loved ones versus us just sitting at home.
Yeah, that's true. So that's actually very true, because the feeling itself is very different. Maybe, sometimes what also happens, like, as we see OTT, we might not feel like watching that with a family member.
Exactly.
Because it's quite different as compared to what they would understand.
Exactly.
But with films, there are certain things which we would prefer, watching with the family.
Exactly.
How were you approached for this one though?
Yeah, so I mean, this honestly, I think we just, we got lucky. So we have a connection in common, Rajshri and Boundless Media, Mahavir Jain. So Mahavir Jain actually brought the film to Boundless Media and said, you really should take a look at this project, because it is a very unique film. And of course, Mahavir ji was saying that getting to work with someone like Suraj ji and Rajshri is such a privilege, which was a very clear, a very clear thing to me. But it's really when I heard the narration that I said, this is a no-brainer. We have to do this. This is the time to tell this story. And I think you'll see, even like, of course, I mean, we felt this at the narration, but now when you see the visuals, it's not just the performance, it's not just the chemistry, even the visuals of the film are actually very unique. What was the last Indian film you can think of that was shot at Mount Everest base camp? So it's a very experimental film in a lot of ways.
But also, Natasha, this film is also very different for Suraj Bajatia.
Yes.
He himself has been saying in interviews that, he's broken that barrier of, keeping a family-oriented film.
Yeah.
Does that make you a bit happy, because, you don't have that, that baggage of, okay, no, I need a certain film in a certain way only, that customs and traditions, the way you want to, and people will come with, that same expectations ki Suraj Bajatia ki film hai, to ye aise hi hone wala hai. Do you somewhere feel that that's much better, that, you are breaking the barrier and you're thinking about the current generation, the older generation, and, the generation next for that matter?
Yeah, no, that's the thing with Suraj ji. He really is a master storyteller fundamentally. So, okay, yes, he's known for making traditional family films that are set, around weddings. But actually, I think, and he deserves a lot more credit for this. What he's really good at doing is he's good at making people feel something. So he's good at making people laugh. He's good at making people cry. He's good at pulling at your heartstrings. And he's also a master leader. So it's not just the people, the audience watching the film, it's the people who are making the film that feel something. while making it. So I think honestly he's able to translate that, So that's been really exciting to see him take what makes him Suraj ji and then sort of put that in a different setting.
That's true.
And by the way, this is a difficult film to shoot. It is shot in multiple locations across the country. It's shot in Nepal, it's shot in Delhi, it's shot in Bombay. So not just for Suraj ji, I think this film would have been a challenge for any director. It requires a lot of conviction, to pull off a film like this one.
When has been, which moment has been your Uunchai moment, I would say?
In this film?
Maybe it could be this film, it could be, your career altogether, your life for that matter. Which has been your Uunchai moment?
Yeah. For me, Uunchai sort of means reaching a peak, right?
Yeah.
But it also means reinventing yourself. And I think, so I would not want to say I've reached any peak. I think I'm far too young for that. So I won't say I've reached my Uunchai.
But sometimes you feel like you have achieved some kind of milestone. No matter even if you're young, sometimes you feel like, okay, theek hai, maine ye task kiya hai, and I've done it in a very nice way. So I feel like, okay, I'm enthusiastic about it. And right now, maybe after this entire lockdown, I feel, or maybe the way how things are going on, people somewhere feel that little joy of happiness in little things also for that matter.
Yeah, sure.
So there must be some moment like that for you.
Sure. So, actually I feel like, my company is called Boundless Media, and I write poetry also along with being a producer, and the two poetry books I've written are called Boundless and Reinvention. And the funny thing is, my second book is called Reinvention, which is a story. Basically, it's like my personal diary of me reinventing myself. So I feel like when that book got published, that in a way was my Uunchai, because I told a very personal story of how, I've moved from science to finance to media, how after living all over the world, I moved back to India and started my own company. So just, I think, telling that story in a very honest way for me was an Uunchai. And I feel, again, this is the power of this film. I feel like some people, including Suraj ji, are telling their own story through this film, which is what that truth will connect with an audience.
That's quite nice to you. And before I let you go, what are your upcoming projects you're working on apart from Uunchai? What is going to keep you busy after this?
Yeah, sure. So, at Boundless, because we say we're telling stories for a new India, we're all about backing great stories. We're also about backing great talent. So, of course, we've worked with amazing talent like Suraj ji for this film. And now on our upcoming slate, we're actually working with a few newer voices. So we have a film called Notary that's directed by Pawan Vadayar, who's a very well-known Kannada director who's making his Bollywood debut. And we're producing that along with Shabir Boxwala, who's the producer of Sher Shah. So I'm very excited about that, because that's, again, a very different, very massy comedy, but the story is very fun. So, we're taking a bet on an upcoming director there. So we have a few very interesting projects in the pipeline, which are a mix of backing established talent and new talent.
Well, that's nice to hear, and all the very best for your upcoming projects, and of course all the very best for Uunchai, and I'm hoping it's going to be a blockbuster hit.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you.